Dear learners, I am Geetanjali, Assistant Professor, Department of Computer Science, St. Josephs Arts and Science College for Women, Hosur. In this video, we are going to discuss about that subject web technology. In web technology, we are going to discuss about that forms in HTML. The form controls are the HTML elements that allows the user to interact with the web pages, and that forms that can give the data to the web service. The form element that can contains different types of input elements such as text fields, checkbox, radio button, submit button, reset button, like that. That forms that can use it to collect user input, and that user use input that can be sent to that server for processing. They are used to create forms on web pages and which allow the user to submit data to the servers. Here, the methods in form. That method attribute specifies how to send the form data to the server. There are two types of method. One is get method, another one is post method. Here, the get method that helps to send that URL, that is with method equal to get. And that post method, we are going to use HTTP with method equal to post. Here the example is form action equal to action page.php. Here the method using is get. Now briefly discuss that get and post method. That get method that appends the form data into the URL in either name or value pairs. Here the length of the URL is limited, that is about 3000 characters only. We can never use that get method for sensitive data because that URL is visible, and you can useful for that data submission for the server because the user wants to bookmark that result. The get method is also not secure here because the URL is visible, so the data is not secure. And the next one is post method. Here the data append inside that body of the HTTP request, so the URL is not shown here, and the size is not limited here, so no limitations. And the form submission with the post method cannot be bookmarked. Here the HTML form controls 1. Form element, 2. Input element and text fields, and the fourth one is label element, fifth one is radio buttons, and the sixth one is checkbox, and the seventh one is select box control, and the eighth one is submit, and the last one is reset button. These are the form controls in HTML. The first one is form element. That form element is used to create the HTML form for the user input. That form element contains different types of input elements such as text fields, checkbox, radio buttons, submit button, reset button, like that. Here the general format of form is form, then you have to use that input fields, then you can close that form as /form. And the next one is text input controls. There are three types of text inputs used in that forms. One is single line text input control, and that next one is password input controls, and the third one is multi-line text input controls. The single line text input controls which are used for only one line of the user, such as names or select boxes or search boxes, like that. The password input controls which are used in the single line, but it is mask the character as soon as the user enters it because it is for secured purposes. And the next one is multi-line text input controls. Here the user can use it to require more details, that is more than one line, which are used as addresses, like that. The second one is input element. In HTML, the input element is the most used form element. It can be displayed in many ways, that is depending on the type of the attribute. The default width of the input field is 20 character. Here the example is input type equal to text means it displays the single line text field as an input. And that input type equal to radio means it displays the radio button. You are going to select any one for the many choices. And the third one is text fields. Here that input type equal to text, it defines a single line input field for the text input. For example, you are going to give name, first name, last name or phone number, like that you are giving means you have to use input type equal to text. The fourth one is label element. The label tag defines the label for many form elements. It is useful for screen reader because the screen reader can read loud the label when the user can focus on the input element. The next, the label element helps the user who have the difficulty on clicking very small regions like radio button or checkbox like that. The example here is form label equal to f name, that is first name, and that input type equal to text, f name equal to, that is f name, and that label equal to last name. Here the text is last name, input type equal to text, id equal to last name, that is name equal to last name. Here the first name is the label and you have to enter that first name, and that last name is the label and you can enter that last name. The fifth one is radio button. The radio buttons can defines the user can select any one of a limited number of choice. Here that input type equal to radio means it defines that it is a radio button. Example, here that input type equal to radio and id equal to HTML, name equal to favorite languages, and that value equal to HTML. Here the label for HTML equal to HTML. And the next one is input type equal to radio, id equal to Java, name equal to favorite language, value equal to Java. Here the label for Java equal to Java. Here we can choose any one. Either you can choose HTML or you can choose Java. You can choose any one from that choice. The sixth one is checkbox. The checkbox defines the user can select 0 or more number of options from the limited number of choices. You can select more than one or more than two like that. Example, here that input type equal to checkbox and that id equal to vehicle name and that name equal to vehicle 1 and that value equal to bike.